Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity to support your favorite artists and podcasts while adding some amazing merchandise to your collection. Visit Merch Store 72 today at 72entgroup.com and discover a world of fandom at your fingertips.
You are listening to All the Bacon and Eggs podcast on the 72 Entertainment Group podcast network.
Just don't buy our mugs.
Okay, the mugs are where it's at now.
It's such a stupid thing.
The mugs are where it's at, man. I'm just saying, it's you have to see the beauty in the mugs.
We haven't introduced our guest, and you're going to do that. But the music that's playing right now is probably one of my least favorite artists of all time.
Okay, all right, okay. So again, I mean. I don't know if you know much about business. Like, we had this whole thing about the workspace. You know, I'm just going to turn this down now because I'm going to get into this. Okay? All right? Because you always want to start with this stuff.
Yeah,
and,
please explain to me business.
And now, you know, what it is that
How'd your doctor's appointment go today?
Okay. Okay, that was unnecessarily mean. Okay. All right. Look.
It was supposed to be yesterday.
So. Okay. All right. Go
ahead. Explain to me business.
Oh. All of this is going to get cut. All of it. All of this. How dare you? How dare you? So what I'm trying to do now is, first of all, I can't see. There you go. All right. So I can see your face now. All right. So it's a little bit of a departure because JGAG had to handle some business that quote unquote, because he doesn't know about business. All right. He doesn't know about synergy and how to work in within the realm and sphere of organization.
You'd be nothing without me.
He you know, that's kind of true, but it's you know, we have a communication platform. He refuses to use it. We have a group of talented people that work with us. Doesn't really acknowledge them, and then he wants to bash one of them who does the theme song to this podcast that we do.
Oh,
and
I thought you meant the person who posts on social media sometimes, who posted a take song with the picture of the Forerunner.
Okay, and then you want to bash that person. Okay, look. Okay. So now you just want to bash people. Yes.
Your secretary needs to get it together.
Okay, there's a team.
Is she from India? That's probably why.
Oh, wow.
Or Britain.
Wow.
We don't like British people or Indians on this. Not Native Americans, but the other Indians on this podcast.
Okay. That is
guest person.
That is JGAG. That's not me. But anyway, all right. I'm going to get into this early. The music's still playing, and I can't stop it. So
I can't hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it. That's all that matters.
You know what we try to do in the first couple minutes of the podcast is lose every listener that was listening.
So that anybody that tried to join or that was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot, we just make sure that they don't, and then
we weed them out real quick.
Yeah, real quick. But it is time for all the bacon and eggs. I am here, of course, in the Leo Pope Studios. I am not with JGAG. JGAG is somewhere else doing other things, but he is here via our communication business infrastructure.
You say satellite.
Okay, I'm not saying satellite. The way we nerds.
Hologram would be better.
He is here via our text line or our voice line, whatever. We're not on Discord because we don't know how to use that. We've tried it. We've tried it several times. It did not work. We're too old. Don't get it. And we're here, and I'm in beautiful opulent, obscenely gorgeous Henderson, Nevada. And it's really cool. We have, for the first time in a long time, we have a little bit of a new segment. And we're going to do a 5-minute, and I just thought of this like a couple days ago, news blurb. You know why? Because you got to have news. You got to have something to catch people. We can't talk about football because not a lot of people care about football.
So we're going to talk about the news, and this is going to come out in a month.
So what we're going to talk about is the news and what's going on right now. So what's going on right now? Top 2 news stories.
Hurricanes. War.
That's one. All right. Thoughts on a hurricane?
I never liked them.
Me neither. Next. All right. So what's the next?
War? You want to talk about war?
No. So we could do war or elections.
Oh, let's do both at the same time.
Okay, both at the same time.
You know what? They're both going to bomb.
Okay, I see what you did there. That was clever. That's clever. All right, news segment over.
Stupid podcast.
I mean, because seriously, like I thought about it and I was like, oh, we could do that. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Actually, that was a good segment.
I don't want to sit there and be serious about the news. Like, but you got to do something anyway. We do have a special guest with us today, joining us today, and it's a person who has been in the music scene for a while, doing some cool things with the band.
Probably too long.
Okay.
Spent way too much money.
This is what I'm talking about. You're trying to make some cool things.
He's aged gracefully.
I'm just saying, we're trying to do this, and here you go. Nah, been in too long. It's just wasting his time. Like, come on, man. Like, can we just?
Oh, my dogs are barking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, introduce, and I will.
Yeah, yes. So we have the guitarist from the band Take here, Trent. He is here, and we're excited to have him. Been long overdue because, full disclosure, the 72 Entertainment Group podcast network is part of 72 Entertainment Group, and Take is with 72 Entertainment Group. We work together. It was great. We have a lot of fun. And I have known Trent a little less than John because I met John first. But I have known him for a while. And I am really, really excited to actually have an interview because I've never done that before. We talked, sparingly over, the last, 15 years, And so I wanted to get a little bit more insight to what really drives Trent. What's the motivation? What's the inspiration? What is it?
Toyota Corolla, right?
What is it that keeps that flame going for music? That's what I want to know. This is a hard-hitting investigative interview from me. Anyway, Trent, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me.
Oh man,
thank you for that ridiculously long introduction.
I don't know how long it'll take for your dogs to whatever you were doing, so I had to make sure.
They're stupid.
You know what I mean? I have to be overly verbose, and that's fine, and I like to do that. It's really good because I am interested, and I do want to know. So now you have been. Tell us how long you have been with Take, and when did you meet John from Take, your arch nemesis and somewhat friend, at least my arch nemesis. And
yours. I don't think John and I have ever had an argument, or maybe I don't, But so we met in probably 2000, 2001, somewhere around there in high school. And it was actually in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Shout out to Idaho. It was at like a football practice. He was on the football team just randomly. I never knew the guy, never even seen him before. And then he just, this like bearded wonder, like, who is this guy with the beard in high school? How do you do that? So I don't know. After that, it's kind of a blur. Like, I don't know how we eventually started talking music, but we did. And we formed a lovely little band in high school called Trapped Within. And we did that for a couple of years in high school. And then as fate would have it, John's parents, and right after high school, his family ended up moving to Las Vegas. And at the same time, my older sister got a job in Las Vegas. And so John and I were like, hey, let's maybe we should continue this into the Las Vegas scene. And so it was kind of cool. We'd meet up every summer because at that point then I was living in Salt Lake City and John was living in Boise, Idaho. And every summer we'd just meet up in Las Vegas. He'd live with his parents, I'd live with my sister, and we started the band that first summer. We started Take that first summer, so that would have been summer of 2003.
Oh wow!
Yep. And so it was just the two of us. We did the classic old school thing where you put up flyers around Guitar Center and Sam Ash Music and just any other music store. Hey, looking for a drummer, looking for a bass player, and then just wait for the calls. But so yeah, that's how Take started, and that's I agree with John. Been doing it way too long, spent way too much money. But
no.
I mean, I love it, and so you do what you love, I guess.
Okay, I forgot to mention that John from Take is also here along with JGAG. So
we have 4 people on the Zoom.
So yeah, and it's not a Zoom. Okay, first of all,
satellite.
Okay, all right. This is the 72 Entertainment Group Hub. Okay, that's where we are. Okay, this is what we're using. This is our workspace. Okay, it's our workspace chat.
I don't like the way my nipples look in this shot.
Okay, I'm glad we are not on camera right now. So, because I do not want to know anything about that. But I did not.
So when Trent, when you first met John, what was your first impressions?
Well, again, it was just like it was out on the football field, and I played defense, he played offense, and we just we met up on like a tackle or something, or like he was wide receiver. He comes down on top of me, catches the ball over my head, and I just look up and I'm like, so again, the beard. I'm like, who's like a freshman in high school has a beard?
That must have been like seeing an angel.
That was my first impression of John. And then, like I said, I don't really remember after that how
it just kind of happened, right? Just met up.
I don't remember. I don't really remember. And this is John talking, not JGAG. I don't really remember anybody. I don't remember us ever talking about music until we were actually in a band.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea how the band started.
Okay, part of it was probably this. I had a really good friend who played the drums. His name was Adam Lum, and he and I would get together. We were Kiss fanatics. We loved the band Kiss more than anything in the world. We'd wear every Friday at school.
Favorite song from Kiss?
Favorite song? Oh man, I don't know. First one I think of right now is Creatures of the Night. It's a pretty cool song.
Okay.
Creatures of the Night album.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to have to go with there's two. There is two.
What do you got?
I still for some reason I love it loud. I think is what the song is.
Nice.
I want to hear it loud. I can't think of the name, but there's also a song called Mr. Blackwell. That's near and dear to my heart because
for obvious reasons.
The obvious reasons, but yeah, it's I really really do. I don't know what it is about the Kiss, but I'm right there with you. I was a big fan of Kiss, and that's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, they're the reason that I even ever picked up a guitar in the first place. I was just fascinated with Kiss, and just they made it look so cool up there with the makeup and the electric guitars, and I was like, I want to do that.
So Ace Frehley was a inspiration.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
absolutely. Still is.
You still have the guitar?
I do.
Yeah.
I show it to Marlon.
Yeah. His name's not Marlon though. We call him MMB. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Let me show it to MMB.
Yeah, MMB is here. I don't know this Marlon that they speak of.
His ugly brother Marlon isn't here though. Oh, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a beauty. It's a beaut.
Oh, that's awesome.
The radio audience will enjoy this as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're not there yet.
Keeping audience, yeah.
We're not there yet. But no, I mean that is awesome, and I had no idea, like that will be the inspiration. Now, when you talk about Trap Within, what type of music did Trap Within play? It was.
I mean, we didn't know what we were doing, but we wanted to be heavy and distorted and loud and screamy and all that stuff. But we didn't know what we were doing. But so yeah, we weren't like, oh, we want to sound like Kiss.
Okay.
Fun couldn't have allowed that. So yeah, he definitely introduced us to heavier music. When we met him, the Slipknot, the Korn, the Deftones, Rage Against the Machine, all that stuff. So, and I loved all that as well. And so I was like, okay, trying to sound cool and heavy like that.
So,
this kid Adam who played the drums. Yeah, I think that's probably John was like, oh, you guys play music together? Let's start a band. I think that's probably how it transpired.
Trapped Within was probably nu metal leaning, but just done extremely poorly.
Okay.
You know what though? It was nice though because in Idaho Falls, like we were the coolest band in Idaho Falls.
Oh yeah, we were the band. Like we'd play at the high school parking lot, and the cops would show up and shut us down, and everybody thought we were so cool.
And our music, listening back, was like awful. But Idaho Falls back then was 20 years behind anything. So
wow,
it worked out.
That's okay. I mean, you got to start somewhere. So I get it, and just like with the emergence of like all these new metal and things like that, I'm pretty sure that was pretty popular. But when you decided to really change up the band and change up the that style that you wanted to do, what was the impetus behind that? How did you guys get to that point where you are now, or where you started Take?
You mean when we first started Take? What was our
like when you made the transition from Trap Within and decided to go with something different?
I honestly don't know if we were trying to do anything different. I think we were in the same lane because we were still listening to, Rage, System of a Down. Although we did start listening to a lot of hardcore at that time, probably. So that probably did play an influence, like some bands like I don't know, Hatebreed,
like the Warriors and Terror.
On Broken Wings.
Yeah, I mean, like those bands, because I'd say Trapped Within was pretty much the groundwork for what Take was going to become, because Take has always been, that weird kind of, we're going to explore like everything and kind of meld it together. But once we found breakdowns as well, then we started adding those. And the first iteration of Take wasn't particularly great either. Like as far as music, we thought we were awesome, like.
Oh yeah.
And obviously it's taken us 20 years to refine certain things, and we still think we make good music, and people don't agree. It's cool, but I think we've gotten a lot better over the 20 years. But going from Trapped Within to Early Take was pretty much kind of the same stuff at first.
We've always and Hatebreed I think was a game changer with that because like John said with the breakdowns, I think regardless of if our music was ever good or not, I would argue our breakdowns have always been good.
Yeah, there we go.
You know
how
what?
to do a breakdown. If nothing else, we know how to do a breakdown.
And I mean, right around, I don't know how, and I'm not trying to inject myself into this, but I don't know when or how many years you guys have been doing it when I kind of showed up and got involved with you guys the first go round. I don't remember what year that was.
Was Trent in the band?
Yes, Trent was in the band.
Yeah. It was probably right before I was about to go out.
Yeah.
But let's put MMB on the spot. And how bad did you think we sucked when you first heard us?
So, okay, when I first heard, because I met John, obviously we had worked together. We talk about it all the time. Everybody knows, serious, blah blah blah. Yeah. So when I met him, I was like, man. And we were talking, and we were doing this, overnight shift. And he was telling me the kind of music he listened to, and we were both kind of, I think, he said something about Tool, and because I liked that. I think was it Sober. Yeah. And he talked about it, and he went into other stuff about, I think it was like Perfect Circle. It was all kind of like, we just talked about music. And then he said, oh yeah, I played this too. I'm like, whatever. 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 I mean, he had that weird hair, and it was just like, okay, whatever. Yeah.
It was great hair.
Oh, man. Woo. And I was just like,
that hair.
It was like, all right, that's cool. MySpace. Let me hear this MySpace. And so I hear it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is okay. This is actually really cool. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Had I
That's the reaction we want from everybody.
Ever heard that type of music? Okay, so the initial listen is like, what is this, right? Yeah. For me, because I grew up. I grew up in a lot of R&B, hip hop. I gradually got into metal and a lot of hard rock, old school classic rock, all that good stuff. So this type of music in this genre was different, but I couldn't say that it was bad. I just was like, okay. And so when I really, really got to go see you guys live, he was like, oh, let's check it out. And I'm like, okay. I mean, back then I just thought I was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. So, and I went to a show, and I'm like, and I'm looking, and I'm listening, and I'm looking around. I'm like, man, and I hear you guys play. I'm like, wow, this is really, really cool. And the energy and the excitement and things like that, I thought it was really good. Did I know it was good or bad music? No, because I never heard that genre before. But I just knew exactly that, and that's the most important thing. If you're entertained by what it was, and then when I got to know John a little bit more, I was like, this dude he's driven, and he has a goal, and he wants to get there. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. So I'm like, I have to work with this dude, and that was pretty much what I wanted to do. It's like I couldn't believe that it was, I don't know, it was weird. It was weird. Yeah. My favorite song was Together United Still Is.
Nice. Really?
Yeah. I don't know why it always gets me.
Yeah. We might play it.
And I do, because that breakdown, that breakdown of together. I mean, I love it. I still remember. So this stuff was so new, so exciting, and that's when I became a huge fan and wanted to work with you guys. And I recorded, and it's all up on the 72. You can see old crappy videos of me and my not wanting to get hit so far back you can barely tell what's going on videos, because people were that dancing was a whole culture shock. I had no idea what was going on.
Oh yeah,
when I saw that, I had no clue. So that was something like, what are we really doing here? Like this is so I remember the Rockin' Java days and stuff like that. It was like the kids were really, really intense, and it still carries on to this day. Like when I hear the music, when I hear the new album now, and I got to hear it, and I'm like, man, this is some really, really good music. And I'm not just saying that just because, we work together. I'm talking about when I first heard it, I was just like, wow. Like from where you started or where I came in to where you are now, like it just really blew my mind. And how much more how to really explain it. Now I'm just kind of fanboying out, but it was.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. Is like, because I don't know that I've necessarily gotten any better at playing guitar or anything like that. I think what it comes down to is just songwriting. I think we're better songwriters.
Okay, yeah.
That also the production level of the music is so much better now than it was back then. But to me, like, I think no matter what genre you're talking about, I think all it ever comes down to is the quality of the songwriting, and I think we've definitely improved, and hope that's like John and I talk about. That's our main goal, is to keep improving and just keep writing better songs, whatever that means.
And I think in knowing who you are and your, not that you have to have room to grow, but you really have evolved and grown into a more just well-rounded, has a more well-rounded sound that is the take sound. Yeah. And I really, really, the Creed cover was something that I wasn't expecting at all. And
huge shout out to Michael too. I mean, John and I think a few years back, we really, like you were saying, we really started to find like our sound. Yeah. And then John finding Michael and getting him in the band has just elevated that. He, as any, anytime you bring in different band members or new band members, they're going to bring something to the table. And so what he's brought has added so much to the sound of the band. Whether I think everybody always talks about his vocals and his vocal ability, which is amazing, but his drumming too, brings a lot to the band.
I didn't know that he was, because I was introduced. He was the as a drummer when I first met Michael, and I was just like, okay, cool. And I don't know whose phone just dinged, but okay, I don't know why you're shaking your head over there, JGAG. Look, let me tell you something. I have it focused. I have do not disturb on, okay? So, but anyway, so when he was introduced as the drummer, and I'm like, okay, all right, cool. And then he was like, I heard a song, and he was like, oh yeah, Michael's doing the vocals. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, are you serious? Like, these vocals are ridiculous. Like, he has a really, really good voice. He plays the drums. And yeah, when you get those members, and I know you're not gonna have to go through all the members, but I know you have gone through just bands. It happens. Bands go through members sometimes, and things don't fit, or it's just things happen. Life happens, and there's nothing wrong with that.
All of a sudden, you're 40 years old and you got 3 kids. You're like, whoa. I don't know if I have time for the band anymore.
And that's the crazy part is that when you get to our advanced ages, because we're all around the same age, and responsibilities in life happens. Like I have been dealing with I got old. I'm old. My body started to break down. So I've been kind of working my way back, getting healthier. But it's tough when you get old and stuff happens. It's like, oh my goodness. And like
it's out of nowhere too.
Out of nowhere.
You're like, I'm not that old. Oh wait, yeah, I am. I can't get up in the morning. I can't get out of bed in the morning.
I'm telling you. And I tried. I went 2 weeks because I'm just, again, being John worked in serious, but I would carry stuff, no problems, just walk it out. No heavy stuff, no issue. Now I went to go pick up a bag of rocks, I think, and it just ruined my life for so
you gotta get smarter.
I'm thinking I'm 20 something years old when I'm not, and it's not fun, but
that was 30 years ago.
But you get it. With maturity comes a different type of I don't know. I don't know if it's sense of responsibility or sense of urgency, maybe. Yeah. When you are in because as a creative person like yourself, when you are, because like you said, you've been playing for a long time, and when you get up in age, the wisdom does kind of creep in. You get it, and there are things that like, hey, I feel better and I feel more confident in this. Yeah. Did that happen with your playing and with your position in like the band? Like you feel more confident, you feel more comfortable with who you are, or is it's just you've always had that? It's just the timing.
I think the biggest thing is just John and I have always worked so well together. He's like always been so supportive of anything I've ever brought to him as far as like guitar sounds, riffs, thoughts, ideas. And so I think I've always been confident in working with him in that way. Cause I never had to be like, oh, this is cool, but I don't know if John's going to like it. So maybe I won't share it or,
I'll just at the end of the day, I'll just cut that part out anyways.
Right. Yeah. He'll make it seem like he likes it, but just say, oh, we can figure out.
Well, no, I mean, it's not that I don't like certain parts. It's when Trent sends me songs that are usually like 5.5 minutes long with like the repeating part, the chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. And I'm like, Josh and I are like, okay, well, we got to cut this down a wee bit. So it's not that I don't ever really, I can't remember a song where I sat down with our producer and was like, hey, we got to cut, this riff out. Right. There's probably parts where before we got to the producer stage, I said to you like, hey, I'm not a huge fan of this, but it rarely happens. Most of the time you send stuff over and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's run with it. And then we just go over to Josh, who's producing, and we kind of sit there and I'd say 95% of the time we don't have to chop up much, but like Void, Void and a couple other songs, we took some stuff out and then it's done.
And like I said, I mean, John and I, we just have that great relationship in that way. Cause when that happens, I think there's no egos. Like, I'm not like, oh, that's the best guitar part ever written. You have to leave it in there. I'm just like, all right, if it doesn't work for the song, then let's get rid of it. Cause again, it just goes back to songwriting. What serves the song.
Yeah. Okay. And I think the thing that makes writing for Take easier too, is that you can write pretty much anything your heart desires, and it fits what we're going for.
Right.
And it's funny because we have a show on November 9th, which we'll get to, but myself, Corey, and Michael got together the other day and we're just kind of just touching up on some new songs, right? Like new songs that we're going to be playing live that we hadn't practiced together. Yeah. And Corey started playing this riff and it's like an Alice in Chains song.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's try that, and so he's going to work on like an Alice in Chains kind of song, and so it's like whatever riff Trent sends over to me, I'm like, yeah, it'll 99% of the time fit what we're going for, which is whatever, as long as we could put together as long as we could put together a song that flows well.
Yeah.
So will there ever be an acoustic album?
Not album.
I don't think an acoustic album. I mean, I wrote that song Memories. That's an acoustic song. Cool. We have floated the idea, and I can say this out loud. Michael and I of doing like a 4-song demo of Creed songs. But
wait, acoustic?
No.
Oh,
but,
come on.
An acoustic album, I doubt it.
Yeah,
let's do it unplugged. Let's bring it back.
I actually did talk to Michael about maybe doing picking one of the songs off this album and doing an acoustic version of it.
Okay.
I talked to John too about like Trapped Within, maybe.
Okay. I mean,
stripped down version, yeah.
Because I think it's really cool. Again, the album, Time Bomb coming out November 8th. We got the vinyl already on pre-orders, correct, with the Resuscitation Records.
Yep.
So it's big time. And again, how do you feel now? I mean, let's just talk about this, because I was taken aback. I know we discussed this before in like a private meeting, but let's get this on. How do you feel about the resurgence of all this old media being used again, like vinyl and cassette
physical
tapes?
Format.
Yeah, like what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. History repeats itself, I guess. But I love it. I mean, I am not so old. So I missed out on vinyl when I was a kid, because I'm old, but I'm not that old. So I grew up in the era of the CD. A little bit of tapes as well. So, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of physical media, and I love that it's still around, and that some of it's making a comeback, because I don't know. I think, and nothing against streaming. Streaming is fine too. Without streaming, there's probably tons and tons of people who would have never heard our music. So
yeah,
I'm a fan of all of it, but more of a fan of the physical stuff for sure.
I mean, so you have a record player, and records I know have been, because they've made a comeback years ago, but the cassettes really threw me off. Like, why the cassettes and CDs? Because and this is coming from a person who grew up right on the tail end of records. So I've had a record player. My sister had a record player, and so we played her records. She had the Raspberry Beret by Prince. I remember that. And then I had Disco Duck. Yeah. Okay. I did have that, and it was awesome. Don't make that face, John. Anyway, it was, then we got into the tapes, and I still have a lot of my tapes. I still have a lot of my CDs too.
You know why the physical stuff is so cool? Because, you gotta put yourself like in that time and place. Like you go to the store, you don't know who any bands are really, and you're like, a lot of the times maybe you just buy something because of how cool the album artwork is or something.
They dupe you.
It's cool. Well, no, it's not always a dupe, but that's what's so cool. You get home, you get to open it, you pull it out, you get to see all the band photos. Nowadays, it's like, you just see what the band looks like, just pull up their Instagram or whatever. But back then, it was just so much more inaccessible, and I think it made it so much more cool.
Now that
more of a mystery.
Right there. Yeah. That right there, I thought that is a good point, because do you think that it's too accessible now? Because you're right, going to a store and picking out a song or a CD, like, man, these guys look cool, or like, these guys look lame, and I don't want to pick this. Right. it's so much different now because you could just pull up your phone and be like, oh, let me Shazam. I heard this song and they're playing. Let me Shazam it. Oh, now I can go to Apple Music or Spotify. Yeah. Okay, now they got a website. Oh, they got the Instagram. They got this, and it's like, oh, okay. And now you're down this rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I think at the same time.
Yeah, I think it helps. I think it helps get your name out quickly, but it also hurts in that people listen to 2 seconds and then they're already gone. Yeah. Everything, even listening to music, is like the social media.
Yeah.
Timeline of it's got to be quick. It's got to be quick. I got 30 seconds to watch this video and then I'm going to the next. Yeah. And so I felt like maybe, and I'm not being negative, but like maybe our music doesn't grip people enough. The stuff that we've released, because you see people, hey, you listen to a couple songs and then they move on. And they're not like just constantly listening to those songs, but we haven't released an album in 3 years, and in between then we've released like two songs, so maybe that's it. But I think with streaming, people just listen quickly and then they move on and then move on and move on. But back then it was more so, man, I would dive into an album and do like a whole deep dive, and really
you just spent like $15 on the album. You gotta at least listen to every track and give it an honest listen.
Yeah. And I think whether people own a record player or a cassette player or a CD player or not, it's just kind of cool to hold that physical media.
Yeah.
And I have come across a ton of people online where it's like, hey, I don't use streaming. I am strictly physical. Nice. And, I only listen to CDs. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. But, if that's what you like, then that's cool.
I mean,
I'm kind of in between. Like, I obviously stream a lot of stuff, but like my favorite bands, I'll buy CDs and vinyl and stuff, and
Okay.
I use both.
Okay. Now, what is your current favorite band?
Ghost. Which, if you think about it, it's like not really that surprising because the band that hooked me on music in the first place, like we talked about before, was Kiss. It's like they had the makeup, they had the mystique. You didn't know who the terrible music members were. And it's like same thing with I discovered Ghost a few years back. I'm like, man, this is so cool. The whole stage show, the costumes.
Oh god.
Yeah, just mystique. But and on top of it, I mean, I love the music too. But
it's so terrible, Marlon.
I just thought about
it's our one argument in life.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only thing John and I have ever and Kiss. Ghost and Kiss.
I gotta say, like I like Kiss so much more.
I just thought about when Kiss took the makeup off and like they showed them and they were all like 40-year-old sweaty dudes.
Yeah. That's my favorite Kiss album, though, is the grunge album.
It was this song.
They took off makeup way before that.
I know, but I love that grunge album.
No, they did this song called "Lick It Up," and I was like, "Oh God, put the makeup back on. This is gross."
They did.
What's funny is that when Mudvayne took their makeup off too, I feel like they got worse.
Really?
It's like, it's almost like you lose your superpowers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Classic was just over here showing me Mudvayne. He was showing me the bassist from Mudvayne. Oh, yeah. And he was like, this dude is amazing. And I was like, wow. Yeah. That's awesome. So, okay. Now, again, physical, great. If you're going to buy your stuff, I have all of Take's stuff. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. And I have the seeing that cool like rust looking record on the new Time Bomb album is awesome. Yeah. I think that's really, really cool. I didn't get my booklet yet. I was waiting for it, but
I got 30 in the mail the other day.
Oh, what?
You can pay extra for it.
What is this? But I remember, I don't know what it was. I think one of my last physical medias, besides like Blu-rays and stuff, because that was still going on. I went and got the Marshall Mathers or Eminem album, and it's one called, I think it's the Encore.
Mm-hmm.
I to this day have not opened that CD. It's still in this package when it was originally out from Best Buy with the label and everything on it.
I miss those.
It's a collector's item at this point.
And I'm like, what can I do with it? Because it's still, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea why I did it, because usually
can I bury you with it?
No.
Everybody's throwing in roses. I'm throwing in Marshall Mathers.
Marshall Mathers CD. Like, no. And I'm like, wow, because I just pulled it out the other day thinking about like what was the purpose of having this physical media. And I know it sometimes they had like a lot of, incentives, the booklets, and you got the little this and that, and but it is something about holding a physical media that is satisfying.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, especially if you really, really enjoy something, like my favorite artist of all time is Sade. And Sade, I have all of her CDs. Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorite Christmases. My mom, I asked for all of Sade's music because all her CDs, and they were all wrapped in a gift for him, like all the CDs wrapped in there. And I was, oh man, it was great. It was a great Christmas. They all were great. My mom's amazing. Anyway, but it's just like something having that when it's something that you really enjoy and you know that you're going to, like, I don't know if it's maybe cherish it. So I get it, but then the convenience of it. Like sometimes you just want to hear the song now and you got to play, and a lot of the cars don't have physical media anymore. They're all on the phone, or both of my
players in the cars.
No more CD players.
So sad, yeah.
And
I think kids, kids these days, but like they'll probably never know, unless they go to Zia Records or something like that. But walking into Best Buy or walking into Hot Topic or Tower Records, and you see an album and it says for fans of this, and you're like, ooh, I might like these guys a lot. And you just buy it on a whim and you get home and you're like, this is my new favorite band. Yeah. Or you're like, there's 2 songs on this and I'll never listen to it again. But it was so much fun getting, going through the process. Yeah.
That was the whole thing. I mean, just like going through the mall, like walking through the mall in general, like, oh man, okay, that's cool. I might want to go check this store out. They might have something there, or the excitement. I don't know what happened because
Did it work the same way with like hip hop and R&B, where they would have like for fans of on there? Because I mean, honestly, I never really bought one back then. Did it say like, oh, if you're into Biggie, you're gonna like this, something like that?
Okay, so to be honest with you, I do recall seeing a couple spots, maybe at a Sam Goody. They
FYE?
had FYE. I don't remember an FYE. I think I'm in one.
We had Hastings.
Oh
yeah.
Right.
So like Sam Goody, there was a Tower Records over there across from the Delamo Mall where I grew up. Oh no, sorry, the Galleria Mall. And then there wasn't anything like any other places you can get the music that I can remember, like but the stores like Sam Goody. What other store had the music there? There's
Circuit City, Best Buy.
Yes, Circuit City. I forgot about Circuit City, man. What was the other one? Fry's Electronics.
Oh yeah,
Fry's Electronics had it. But when going through the mall, because I used to get the tape singles, when they had the singles for the cassette tapes, or the CDs when CDs started to come out, and man, they would R&B, yes, and hip hop, yes, they did have some that would say that, but it was also just like again, the packaging, like this looks cool. Let me check this out. Or you heard the song on the radio. Radio to me is non-existent because I don't listen to the radio.
Right.
So you don't hear songs on the radio I got to go get I have to go get this tape. My mom heard Montel Jordan's "This Is How You Do It."
Good song.
And I never, that it scarred me because she went and bought that just the CD single of the song "This Is How You Do It" and played it, I think, about 6 or 7 times in a row. And still to this day, that's every time I hear that song, I just have this like reaction to want to leave, because that's how I felt when I was in the car when she hit the reverse, like the reverse back or playback for the 6th time. I just wanted to jump out the car. Just like, can you? Oh my God. It was so bad. But, you know, I mean, it was one of those things. So I don't know. Physical streaming, that could be torturous either way. But just to have like your own stuff, like not a lot of people get to have their own. I don't have physical media.
Yeah.
I don't have stuff on records.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. Like, how does that feel?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
All of this is a dream come true. I mean, I never thought I would either. I mean, who thinks that they're going to have their stuff on physical media? It's so cool. And, it's a dream come true. I never thought it would happen. And then here it is. And it's like, now we got the even colored vinyl, like you said, which is like icing on the top.
You have merch, it has to speak to something that the longevity of the band and any incarnation of it, that you guys are still here, still doing your thing. And John and I, just like you, we've known each other for a long time, and we joke around a lot, and I don't really have anything bad to say about the guy. I just can't. Yeah. So, as much as I want to sometimes, I just can't.
The feeling isn't mutual.
I know.
I only have bad things to say about you.
So,
like yin and yang.
And so it's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. And the objective, what is it that, because I know as speaking from on the back end, working with you guys, what I want to see, I want to see from you guys, and what I want you to do, and where I want you guys to go. But where do you see it? Where do you see yourself, and where do you want to go, I should say?
Well, we had a long discussion about this the other day, and I feel like we both came to a consensus that we want to be the first band that plays on Mars. So,
or the moon.
Yeah, either one. I mean, that's realistically the goal, I think, for both of us.
Okay, so no. we can really facilitate that, because if you want to believe everybody now, we can just go to a studio and just play on the moon like they originally.
I mean, that's what they did anyway.
That's what they did anyway with the moon landing. They were just in the studio. So,
I mean, like when I first started, when I was 17, it's like it's the same dream that every musician has. I'm like, I want to be famous, I want to be rich, I want to tour, all that stuff. But then I think we've kept this thing going so long because we just love it. It's the love of my life, playing guitar and creating music. And so I honestly don't care where we are in 5 years from now. If I'm still sitting down here in my office writing music, guitar riffs, sending them to John, and we're like 65 years old and we're still creating music together, that's good enough for me. If something miraculous happens and we get to do more than that, then that's extra, and I'll take that too. But I just do this because I love it, and I don't care what happens with it, honestly.
That's
Because I
awesome.
like it. I like what I do. I like to listen to it, and I have fun working with John and the other guys in the band, creating the music, and that's it's my passion.
It's we have slowly checked off. I think both of us were always like, hey, we want a vinyl, and check that off. One of my things would be I would love to be able to play some sort of festival. With more than I think the November 9th show, there's going to be hopefully up close to 300 people. But I'd like to play a festival where it's more than that.
It's thousands,
As far as touring goes, I mean, sure, as long as I can't be away from my family for too long, and also Trent and I both have to provide too. So, that does make it a little bit more difficult, but, I'd like to play, a festival or so, or, play a show where it's in California or play a show where it's wherever, and just, I don't know, show people on the other side of the country who we are as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's key. So let's get into the November 9th show. I think that you guys have been doing this for 20 years, and it's because of the love and the passion that you have for the music, and it speaks in the music. You can hear it, and I think that's what I was trying to get at earlier with the new sound. You can feel it's authentic. It's authentically you, and it's coming from a place of where we want to be doing this. And you feel that, and like you can feel that through the music. So the November 9th show that you guys we're going to be doing the 20th anniversary. Who do we have? What's going on? How can people come join? Will there be cool people like MMB there? Let's talk about it.
So if you would like to come, if you would like to come, people that are listening, go to Take Band LV on Instagram and just shoot me a message, and I will work things out for a ticket. We're going to give away 50 shirts to the first 50 people who visit our merch table. We have a ton of new merch too.
Oh, and a raffle.
Yeah.
So
and a raffle.
You guys can talk about all that stuff, but here's what it's going to be. It's going to be fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a good old time.
Yeah, that's the main reason you should come.
I mean, you're right, Trent. And it's going to be fun. And I agree. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
But we're also giving away money.
Okay, see.
So see, that's fun.
Wait a minute. We're also giving away money. We're having a raffle. We're giving away merchandise. We're going to have a meet and greets,
taco cannon,
meet and greets with the band. We're all kind of cool stuff. A photo booth. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to work this stuff out.
So come November 9th. It's an incredible lineup. It's only $10, and you will have your face rocked off.
Yeah, be melted off.
Probably.
Okay.
So
it's gonna be fun.
How do you want to end this?
I don't want to end this. I want to continue going, but I mean the show in itself. Yeah, we can end the show, but
did you read my text?
No, I'm reading your text. I'm in the middle of a show.
We got to read my text.
Oh my goodness.
That's very unprofessional.
Yeah, why are you sending me text messages in the middle of the show?
Well, okay, I'll just tell you. Trent has to leave in 10 minutes. That was 8 minutes ago.
No. We're on the tail end. We're good.
Yeah, no, we're good. No, okay.
My kids haven't come running through the door yet, screaming and crying, so we're cool.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, but if you let them, MMB will have us here until 7 p.m.
No, I won't. We got to the show. That was the end of it.
It'll just be monologue.
See, this is what
monologue after monologue.
He always does this. He always does this, and he can't let anything happen naturally, and it always has to be. Oh, so how you gonna end this? They're like this energy. Like, come on, dude. Calm down. Let's just can we have a show where
just enjoy the moment,
and then it naturally like, hey, all right, guys, blah blah. No, we got to end this. Read my text. Man, get out of here.
Well, it usually ends with I have to pee or I'm hungry.
Well, yeah, that's true.
What editing is for.
Yeah,
He doesn't edit these.
I'm not editing this now because I want everybody to hear his unprofessionalism when it comes to podcasting. Okay. Yeah, and I'm pointing my finger in a very decisive manner at you. I don't know who I'm pointing at. Anyway,
I can't tell either.
Anyway, hey, guys, this has been a pleasure. It's been a treat. Trent, I really do thank you so much for coming on and being able to do this, and I really do, heartfelt, really do appreciate, and I enjoy working with you, and and the growth that you have, that I've seen over the years. It's amazing. I'm very, very happy, proud of both of you guys.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's great working with you too.
And so I look forward to seeing you again. We just did a shoot. We won't talk about that now, but I look forward to seeing you again.
It's going to be great. Yours truly, MMB, has the role of a lifetime.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so
number one, boss man extraordinaire.
And
sleep on set.
I was tired, man. I worked my butt off. But anyway, thank you guys, John, Trent.
I've been looking for your butt.
And
I see you on November 9th, you buddies.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later.
Us?